He's a friend to all of us. He's family to some, to wonderful, intelligent ladies right over here, Riley and Avery. And I guess, he's the apple of his mother's eye. Constant disappointment to his father. But he's special. And he's... So, all of those things that we love about Brian has been everything to make this guy an absolute legend. Now he's kind, he's funny, he's smart, but there's something about him, this one little thing that is the actual driving force that makes him the best IT professional, the strongest friend, the nicest dad, and it's the burning desire that just makes him actually move through life, and that's wrestling. It's a burning desire. It's shaped him and molded him into the man he is today. It's his passion. He won't tell you about it if you ask him, but it is his absolute passion. He loves it. But for those that aren't familiar with wrestling, I'm just going to work through a little bit of a brief history about it. So wrestling it's one of the oldest forms of combat. It's referenced in the Iliad and depicted in a 15,000-year-old cave drawings in France. Early Egyptian Babylonian reliefs show moves still used today. It was developed by ancient Greeks as a way to train soldiers in hand-to-hand combat. With the Greeks, one of the most famous Greeks, possibly related to Winston. But true knowledge exists in knowing that you know nothing. That's a part maybe people forget about that quote, that famous quote. So the measure of man is what he does with his power. Famously said by Plato, and. That's wrestling. That's a true form of wrestling. And to that point, Alex, something in the middle has had its stain on wrestling, and took it away from its most pure form of wrestling, and that's this. Singlet style, a bunch of fake nonsense, this horrible form of wrestling. And then a genius was born. And his name was Vince McMahon. And he brought out the truest form of the most real wrestling that could ever grace this world. And we're also lucky to have people like Ultimate Warrior and Andre the Giant to really, and Dusty Rhodes, to really see what an athlete looks like, like what a true competitor is. George the Animal Steel, yeah, he's really furry, but
he's named the animal for a reason.
Exactly. It's intimidating, and it's you don't no. So
wait, can we just take a second and notice Hacksaw Jim Duncan?
Yeah, Duggan. And yes, he's
a tough guy.
Is he Canadian, or was he doing the Canadian
flag
or the American flag?
He carried a 2x4. It doesn't
2x4. Absolutely. And Andre the Giant. There's a little urban legend that he could drink a full barrel of beer before getting drunk. It's pretty impressive. But yeah, and Eric knows Bam Bam Bigelow as a bouncer.
He was a bouncer at a show I played once.
Nice. Yeah.
It's a real tattoo on his head.
But all of these things, all of this brief history of wrestling, it leads us to sort of that that part of this story that circles back to Brian. And Brian deeply understands this history of wrestling. And he was pushed to be in this fake nonsense of this singlet style wrestling. And he tried to mold himself to be that, and I don't know if it worked, but I'll let you guys work through this thing here. We got a little bit of a contender. You can see the fury in his eyes, the mop of his hair, just big hands too, ready to rumble. But maybe we can also notice a little bit in his eyes. He doesn't believe in it fully. You know, there's something in there that he knows isn't right with the singlet. So he tried hard. He maybe wasn't the best wrestler. And we can excuse that because maybe he understands what his true purpose in life actually was supposed to be. Never for the close observers, never really in the spot you're supposed to be. The worst part is, look how excited he is in this picture right here. Look at him. He's not even on a podium. I think he snuck into that picture. But I don't know if everyone knows, but Brian's father is a famous local hero in the wrestling world. He had high hopes for both of his sons. Andy, Brian's brother, has done pretty well in his father's eyes, but maybe these first place things, he sees Brian there, but Brian's got a smile, not even on a podium. He's sort of angry about this third place thing, but happy also about that second place trophy. And I guess his dad sort of noticed that and probably created a bit of a riff in this beautiful family dynamic that is an actual picture. But somehow through the disappointment in his father's eyes, the competition between his brother, he knew that maybe the wrestling that his dad wanted him to do wasn't the right way, but it didn't change the passion. It didn't change the deep burning desire in Brian to continue through life in his own way. So I mean, this is Brian very, very clearly. This isn't a singlet style in any way. I mean, it's more on the Greek side with the beautiful chest that we're all seeing, and also the attitude that's common with your WWF wrestlers. I mean, disregard the Village People record that's over there. He still has a lot of attitude, and maybe he was destined for something else in life. And you guys probably don't know this about Brian. He started a journey to be who he needed to be. Past the important steps of jazzercise and needed to go now to build his strength. birth, but he was able to achieve it with pure desire and heart and passion. So, we've achieved mastery, and the only logical step was to head to Mexico for actual, true wrestling glory. And Brian made his way over. Oh man. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Made his way across the border and deep down into the darkest places of Mexico to fully embrace his birthright of being the alternate warrior. Oh my God. The screen is different. And with all the jazzercise and the training and the connecting mind and body and pushing his muscles to the fullest extent, the alternate warrior swept through Mexico like a devastating tornado. Now, you can see the alternate warriors fighting luchadores. Now, there's a little bit of history on luchadores. The masks that they wear is a symbol of themselves. You can put your sort of mask up in this battle. If somebody wins and you demask them, they're shamed for life. They can never wrestle in the same capacity again, and it's a general burden on themselves and their family, most likely. People won't even allow them. This is his collection of luchador masks, and you could see the fury that he went through Mexico and just ruined so many lives, so many Mexican lives, so many.
Took masks.
I forgot. I'm so sorry, Grace.
I remember.
Thank you. He kicked ass and took masks.
Yes.
Yes.
And we're all very fortunate. Again, through the painstaking research and delving deep into our understanding of Brian and trying to learn more, we all sought out two different groups that were maybe some of Brian's fiercest competitors, but also maybe some of his greatest victories, and that's these guys. Dos Chalupadors. They were an up-and-coming tag team. I mean, through Mexico City and Juarez, they were kings on the street. Everyone.
Is it rolling now?
Hi, Dos Luchadors.
Hi.
Chalupadors. Could you tell us about your career before the Alternate Warrior?
Well, we were the top guys, man. We did everything. We beat them all.
Well, what my friend is trying to say is that we were the best, and the best we were, and we took them down because we were the best until that day That day
Can you guys walk us through that fight where the alternate warrior challenged you to a 2-on-1 battle, which was generally unheard of?
It's too dark. I don't want it.
Well, what my counterpart is trying to say here is that
Judd gave us the jazz. The jazz. We're trying to give him her ass, but he's jazz. Lord. Yours has felt.
It's obviously still messing with him years later.
Overcame Mars has. Jazzercise. Well, it came on soft and supple. And what we can both say is that that we were disgraced. I'm not built for step aerobics. Disgraced by grace. And grace showed us the softer sides of soothing saxophone. Which were his arms. Both my ears and my biceps. Awesome continuity. But now, seriously,
Guys, what are you up to now?
we're going back. We're going back to our roots with salsa.
GoFundMe's.
And every time you buy 2, it's for you. That's for the gringo. Beat us. We're the best. Nobody beats us. Well, when you buy jars of salsa, you get a 5% discount on a used rib. Do have used rib, ladies and gentlemen. These came off of a Toyota Tacoma. Found them on Craigslist. Marketplace. We got them all for you.
They are beautiful ribs.
We can save our money and get our own ring. Is this thing for our safety? Beat us in our own ring. Is this thing for our safety?
Well, thank you, those Luchadores. Best of luck in all of your future endeavors.
And watch out for the jazzy hands and the jazzercise.
This also looks delicious.
You see, we'll come back. We're gonna come back one day.
Yeah. So obviously they're doing well after beating the alternate warrior. The salsa does look delicious, and it is a good bargain with the rims. So there is a GoFundMe. You should look for it. And then we got to meet up with the fiercest competitor maybe that alternate warrior ever had to face. Papi Esplunanti. Not good at saying Spanish names. And his life is also a little bit different. And thank you so much for giving us your time today.
Buenos dias. How are you?
Thank you for welcoming us into your beautiful home.
Thank you.
Would you be so kind to tell us a little bit about your early career in luchador wrestling?
1 second. Okay, that's good. Yes, the early days. The early days we were triumphant, glorious. There were so many things to be done, to be had, the ways of the past. Crushing blows were dealt left, right, sideways, up and down, mealworms, camel clutches. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. We rise to glory.
You were the biggest star
I was the
in
Papi.
Mexico City.
See, I was the Papi.
Top contender.
Yes, yes.
Papi. Could you tell us a little bit about that fateful day that
Which
you met
fateful day?
the alternate warrior?
The ultimate warrior. The alternate warrior is so alternate. It makes me want to spit. But that first time I saw him, he did not look like he had anything to him. No magic, no power, no crow. He did not have the eye of the crow. And I thought to myself, I would just decimate this ultimate warrior, this alternate. He's not the real deal. He's the alternate thing. So I will put him down like a dog.
Can you walk, Papi? Could you walk us through that fight? I mean, I know where your head was at going into it.
Yes.
But But once it ended,
Well, perhaps I should not have drank so much cough syrup that morning. But, you know, I underestimated my foe. I jumped into the ring and was ready to grab, to crush. But the energetic ways in which he moved around in his helmet, it was distracting. There was a glint off the lights in the stadium, and my luchador mask it got all foggy inside, and suddenly the next thing you know, I'm underneath the alternate warrior, and there was a figure 19 leg lock, and I have never walked quite the same.
yeah,
I have been unable to wrestle. I've been mulling over my time with the chickens and the crows. It has given me a way to spend much time with my ninos and take care of them, and I like to
Hydrangeas are
milk the
beautiful.
hydrangeas.
Yeah,
I
they're
milk the
beautiful.
hydrangeas and I use the nectar to create salves and ointments, and many people enjoy them. Yes, if you mix the hydrangea nectar with the chicken shit in just the right proportions, it can solve many of the world's problems.
so that is much better than being the biggest luchador
In a way, the alternate warrior, he paved for me a better way to cleanse my soul, and he let me see the sunlight through the broken bones. My C7 through 42 vertebrae will never ever be the same. But you know, through that hardship, I was able to learn how to really dive deep into the depths of your bowels to make things happen.
and now, Poppy, I know this may be tough, and he's altered your life, maybe even for the good. But are there any last words maybe you'd like to say to the alternate warrior?
You know, I have something to say to you, alternate warrior. You know what I like to say to you? It's time to buckle up, Buttercup!
Someone weirder than Michelle Pfeiffer.